Every manhwa has a moment where it tells you exactly what kind of story you're about to read. For solo leveling, it's the double dungeon. For omniscient reader, it's the first scenario. For Tomb Raider King, it's betrayal. Not the dramatic kind, not the emotional kind, the cold, calculated kind. The kind where someone looks at 10 years of loyalty and decides you're worth more dead than alive. And honestly, that's why I think this series hooked so many people right from chapter 1. If you've never heard of Tomb Raider King, the premise sounds almost ridiculous. Ancient tombs begin appearing around the world. Inside them are relics capable of granting incredible powers. Governments want them. Corporations want them. Everyone wants them. But underneath all that treasure hunting and supernatural chaos is a surprisingly simple story. A man gets used, a man gets betrayed, and then that man gets a second chance. Here's something I think Tomb Raider King does better than a lot of regression stories. It gives the protagonist a reason to change. A lot of regression protagonists come back because fate chose them, or because destiny gave them another chance. Joo-Heon is different. His second life isn't a blessing, it's an opportunity. And that's important because it changes how he approaches everything afterward. The old Joo-Heon believed effort would eventually be rewarded. The new Joo-Heon understands something much darker. Power doesn't go to the most loyal person. Power goes to the person willing to take it. And that's really the central theme of this opening. One of the reasons I think readers connected with Joo-Heon is because he's not trying to be a hero. He's not trying to save humanity. He's not trying to become a better person. He's trying to make sure nobody ever takes advantage of him again. That's a very different motivation. And honestly, it's refreshing. Especially if you've read a lot of regression, manhwa. Most protagonists become stronger. Joo-Heon becomes smarter. His greatest weapon isn't a relic. It's information. He knows things other people don't. He understands the future before it happens. And that immediately turns every situation into a strategy game. If I had to identify the biggest strength of Tomb Raider King, it wouldn't be the powers. It wouldn't be the relics. It wouldn't even be the revenge. It's momentum. This series moves fast, sometimes almost too fast. The opening chapters waste very little time. Events happen quickly. Opportunities appear quickly. And Joo-Heon reacts immediately. That constant forward momentum creates something every long-running series needs. Curiosity. You always want to know what his next move is. And that curiosity is what keeps readers turning pages. Now, the series isn't perfect. If I'm being fair, one criticism I understand is that the opening doesn't spend much time exploring Joo-Heon's previous life. The story gets to the regression quickly. Some readers wanted more time, more emotional build-up, more opportunities to see what he lost. Personally, I didn't mind, but I understand why others feel differently. The opening chooses speed over depth. Whether that's a strength or weakness depends on what you're looking for. Even years after its release, I think the opening still holds up, because the emotional core remains relatable. Most people have experienced some version of being overlooked, being underappreciated, being used. Tomb Raider King takes that feeling and asks a simple question. What would happen if you got another chance? Not another chance to fix the world. Another chance to win. That's the fantasy the series sells. And it sells it extremely well. So, would I recommend Tomb Raider King? Absolutely. Especially if you enjoy Potter, regression stories, protagonists, proper, strategic victories, practice, revenge done through planning rather than brute force. If you're looking for a pure action series, there are better options. But if you enjoy watching a protagonist slowly outmaneuver everyone around him, Tomb Raider King is one of the stronger entries in the genre. Next time, we'll talk about the early moves that start changing everything. Because once Joo-Heon realizes he knows the future, he stops playing by everyone else's rules. And that's where Tomb Raider King starts becoming truly dangerous. If you've read the series, tell me, what's the moment that made you realize Joo-Heon wasn't like other regression protagonists? And if you're new to Ground Up Reads, subscribe. Because we're following this story all the way to the end and finding out whether Seo Joo-Heon really earns the title of Tomb Raider King.